Hello everyone, welcome back to another Creative Design Team collaboration video. This week we are documenting our Days of December. Okay, so let's talk about the progress that I have done. I've posted 2 videos already, and I will link those down below. And also, if you want to see all of the videos that the Creative Design Team is doing, that will be listed at the end in a complete playlist. So if you remember my last video, or maybe my first one, I talked about this storage box that I'm putting all of my goodies in. And I went ahead and I went to the dollar store and I found this one here, and it is fantastic. It has many different places to put all of my goodies. So I had them all in different bags in this box, and they were kind of hard to move out of the way when I was looking for my paper. So I went through my stash and I looked for stars, poinsettias, bows, anything that would work for this project. And it turns out I have quite a bit of stars. And I love this top portion here because it's a little bit bigger. And again, here I've got some labels. I've got all of my sprigs and leaves. I've got this cute little buck that was in my stash, and a lot of die cuts that I did for cards. I kind of added them in here as well. So I find that this is a really good storage solution, and it was really inexpensive. It was at the dollar store. So hopefully you can find something similar, or you probably have a better system than I do. Remember, this is my first time. And then I'm keeping all of my numbers here because of course I did a design change and I decided that I was going to go random numbers. I've got my glitter in here, glitter trim, and all of my paper. And we're going to look at the album, what I've done so far. So I'm pretty proud of myself because I landed on my title page. And I didn't know what to do. If this is your first time doing Days of December or December Daily, there is so much content out there that it is a little overwhelming. So I landed on this one. This is probably an Ali design back from 2020. I did it in my Cricut, and originally I wanted this to be a shaker page. Now, I'm not a stranger to having things outside of page protectors, but I don't know, for whatever reason, my mind wasn't, jiving with the page protector and the shaker. So let me show you my not so successful page. So this is a shaker page, and I really like that it's a shaker page. But when I put it together, I had to do like several thickness of cardstock in order for my little bits in here to shake. And then I forgot to add like hinges or something, or in my original design I was stuck on 6x8, so it could definitely live on the outside of the book. I'm not opposed to that, but it didn't quite work out. But I have all these numbers now. So maybe day 20, you can see that I had to do it twice. So I've got 2 of the pattern paper and 2 of the gold. So maybe I can do a day 20. Wouldn't that look really cute? And this is the negative part, and I've kind of put it all together. So I am going to keep those because I definitely think that this is going to be a project that I will do again next year. And having different style of numbers is actually really good. So if you decide to do something like this, definitely when you do it in Design Space, you would have to add 1/4 of an inch on this side and punch holes, or add little hinges, or if you give up on it like me, and there was 2 reasons why I gave up on it. I wanted to do some stitching. So I was okay. It was a learning experience. I came in here and I did some gold stitching, and I really, really like that. I wanted to add a flower. If you know me, you know that I love flowers. And then I just backed it with a plain pattern paper. That's from the Mix-In. So that's going to slide in here really, really nicely. No, it's not a shaker, but it is a see-through. And I don't know if you can see, it has like a little bit of a frosted look to it. I did this with spraying the acetate with gloss spray in the white, and this is a technique that I learned from Andrea in the creative design team, and she showed us how to do beautiful tags, and I thought, oh, this would look really, really good for this page. So the plan, now that I have kind of a plan, I'm going to have a full photo here of the family, and when you open the album, you're going to see the picture through, and it's going to be frosted because of this really cool effect here. And then we're going to continue on into the book. Now, I wasn't sure how I was going to lay out my book, and if you watch Chelsea's video, she did mention that she created a free calendar that you can find, and I will link that down below. And originally, when we were talking calendars, I had no idea where I was going to start. So I did go ahead as well and created a 2-page calendar. So this would go in your book like this. And let me show you the benefit. Now, the reason why I opted not to use the 2-page calendar is because I'm actually starting my book with a title page and it's clear. And then I have a photo. So if you're starting a little bit differently, like if this wasn't clear, you could absolutely put 2 pages here for your calendar if that's something that you would like to do. So I opted, and I was glad that I had this option to go with the 1-page calendar. And as Chelsea mentioned, the December that she showed in her video is not included in the file, but guess what? This December fits perfectly. So I was super happy about that. And I want to show you something else here. I don't know if you guys do that, but oh, they're falling out. This is the example I want to show you. So I kind of cut pieces and I leave them with the stamp that I'm working with. Now, if you plan on decorating this one here, the squares are a little bit smaller, but if you plan on decorating this one, just want to give you options. You can see that you can definitely put right here the little gift, and it would look really, really cute. Now you have the option of turning this layer off and stamping it, or you can just print it out and color it with your Spectrum Noir markers. I've seen a few people do that, but those are 2 options that you have for the calendar. So moving right along, if you remember, I created this really pretty layout here, and I wasn't ready to use it. Like the orientation of it wasn't working for me. And I actually wanted a 4x6 layout, but my 4x6 layout is not about Deck the Halls. It's about my first day, and I took out the Advent calendar. So I'm going to show you, this is my little setup for my little Advent calendar. So I am going to go ahead here and I'm going to use, again, the really great sketches in this sketchbook. Oh, we'll go back to the prompts. I think I talked about that before. I am going to use, I have so many things to tell you. Here you see that I've got 2 pieces of pattern paper, and I actually practice my stitching on these 2 pieces right here. And I looked through the book in here and I found this sketch, and I thought, okay, I'll practice on these 2 pieces before stitching my front page, because I had done all of the work and I was a little afraid to start stitching and not knowing how it was going to turn out. So I did use that sketch, and I'll probably end up using that a little later on. But for today's video, I'm going to work with this sketch right here on page 18. And I am going to document my day 1. So for day 1, again, I don't know if you remember, but I had started with all of the same numbers, and I wasn't sure where I was going with pretty much anything. It's hard when it's your first time. So I'm going to go back, and these are my pages that I've prepped. So this is an 8x6. I'm following the sketch that is on page 18, and it called for a nice big piece like here. And this was one of the pieces that I had already cut into. So I'm going to just add this to my page. I'm going to add my photo. I have the one photo right here. And then I had a few options for my one, and I thought, since this is the first page of my first Days of December, I'm going to use a nice big bowl, number 1. And on that sketch, you also had little stars. So I took a cue from that and I pulled some of these little wooden stars, and I'm just going to add them right here beside my number 1. I find that the little wooden stars match kind of like the photo that I have here, and I'm going to add 2 at the bottom. And then I'm going to put my journaling right beside my photo, and I'll talk about the journaling on my next sketch that I'll do with you. So this was the original one, and I'm not going to get rid of it. I'll put it back in my box full of numbers, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this together, and then we will talk about layout number 2. As I'm putting this layout together, let's talk about the exciting news from the creative design team. We have opened our doors for our exclusive membership group. It is only open for a limited time. Each weekly technique-based class includes a full printable handout, and you will learn from 7 of us. We have 7 different styles and 7 different perspectives. We also offer monthly challenges, tip videos, and so much more. It has been so much fun seeing our membership share their artwork using the techniques and learning all along with them. Our classes are designed to give you creative ideas, stretch your supplies, and get your mojo flowing. I hope to see you there. Check the link down below. Okay, so you can see how easy it is to put a page together with a sketch, with the help of a sketch. And I had the one photo. I've got my story. My story is about me taking out my advent calendars. I created these for my kids way back when, and they still love them. So let's bring the book back in, and I am going to add my day 1 right here, just like so. So here we are. So we've got the title page. We're going to have a nice family photo, and then we've got our calendar, and then we have the day 1. So what you need to be mindful of is that day 2 also needs to be a full page. And I decided to just move this sketch over. So these are my foundation pages that I worked on. So I'm going to move this one onto the back side right here. And I'm going to document my day 2. So my day 2, I did go ahead and I printed my photos, and yes, we were painting on day 2. And that's why my tree isn't up, my cards aren't out. Don't think that because I've got this all organized that everything else in the background is organized. I'm hoping to get my tree up by the weekend, but you know what? It's okay because I keep my tree up until the new year. So the fact that it's not up this week is no big deal. I am going to add now my photos to this foundation page. I like to keep the placeholder because it creates a nice white border. I just trimmed that down by 1/8 of an inch. And when you look at these pictures, they're not the most glamorous pictures for a documenting December, but this is what was happening in December for me on day 2, no less. So I am going to keep this one here. I'm going to add this right here. And then I also did prep my little tag, and that was one of the reasons why I took this layout, because I didn't have a lot to say, just that, you know, after many months of waiting for my doors to arrive, to get them installed, they're finally getting painted just in time for the holidays. Now, let me get the product I use for this here. This is something that Erin shared with us, and it's great. They're full sheets, they're clear, and you can type your journaling on them, and then you can add them to whatever embellishment you have. So I just have to make sure, because the original idea was that this was going to tuck underneath. So I wanted to make sure that I'm not going to hide any of my words. Now they will be hidden a little bit by the bow right here, but I know that I have to kind of go up here on my tag. So basically you just peel off the backing, and then it's instant. Like, you just peel that off and you pop it right onto your project. Okay. So I've got my journaling right here. I just used the grid lines on my mat just to make sure that my words were nice and straight. We are going to tack down these photos, and this layout is going to be done for day 2. So let me just pop this right here, and then this one. And you know, at first I wasn't going to add these photos because I thought, oh, they're not very glamorous, but it's not all about the glam. It's about the story, and it's about what's happening on that particular day. So these events actually happen on these days. Now, I am not going to, you know what? No, I am going to tack that down. I was thinking that people will want to pull it out, but it's going to be in back of a page protector, so they will not be able to pull it out. So I'm going to pop that here. And the scrapbooker in me always wants to add dimension, but I have to be mindful that this book is going to be full. There's going to be 31 stories in here, so I don't want to overdo it right now. Okay, so let's bring this back. And so day 1, day 2 is going to slip in right here at the back. And then I'm not sure about day 3. I don't know if you remember, well, when I did these 2 pages, I wasn't quite done. So basically what I did is I just added a picture of my life right here, and I ended up not using this little photo mat, so I'm going to keep that in here. And we're just going to keep on building this book. Now, this will be the last video until January, because I am going to try and enjoy December so that I can come back and show you all of this book when it's complete. Okay, so let me share with you how I'm going to stay on track with this project, because trying to remember everything is not going to be easy. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier on myself. So I really wanted to fill in my calendar right here and kind of help me with the process. But I soon realized that things are going to change. And so I just went ahead and I printed myself a copy of just a regular calendar, and I started to document some of the things that were happening on specific days. You can see here that already there's been a change on the 3rd, and there's been a change on the 5th, so I didn't want to mess up this one right here. But what I'm doing is that when something happens on the particular day. So my advent calendar absolutely was taken out on the 1st of December, and my home improvements did happen on the 2nd. But then the Saturday and decorating the tree, well, that hasn't happened yet. So it's probably going to happen here, hopefully. But this is how I'm kind of tracking what's going on, and I'm trying to fill my calendar. And for days where I'm going to run out of things or run out of ideas, I'm going to go back and I'm going to check the Days of December prompts, because there's a lot of good things that I know I want to document. I want to document when I'm doing my Christmas tree, obviously. I want to document when I'm sending out my Christmas cards. I want to document a whole bunch of things. So these prompts are really helping me. Another thing that's helping me, and sorry for the glare, is that this is in Microsoft Word, and I would have printed it for you if my printer was cooperating, but it is not. So I just open a document, it lives on my desktop, and then I started, day 1, and I started documenting what happened on that day. Day 2, day 3. So day 3 changed into something that actually happened on that day. And then day 4, nothing really happened on day 4. So then it's going to be story number 4, and so on and so forth. So day 5, I've got some things going on. Day 6, I got my nails done. So it's the first time in a long time I have red glitter nails. And I think that this is actually helping me stay on track and kind of further develop how this album is going to look like. Now, again, this is my first time. If you listen to Chelsea, she's been doing these for a very long time, and she has a really good handle on it. I don't. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants and hoping that I will be able to produce this book by the end of the month and show you how I got to it. So from the beginning to the end, this is how I'm getting there. So hopefully these tips are going to help you. And I'm going to leave you with a couple of still shots of those beautiful layouts that were created so very fast. And this one here, I am so excited about this title page. It took a little bit to get going on it, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to watch the entire playlist. You will pick up on awesome tips. Have yourself a very Merry Christmas, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.